What a fucking shit show. Yeah, you know I'm talking about the Niners game last night. And I'm nothing if I'm not fair and balanced in everything related to my opinions as much as I can be. Um, and I'm here to do exactly what most trash bag fans and a very small fraction of Eagles fans especially were willing to do, and that's to eat a little bit of crow. Um, I'm going to start by saying that last night was rough. It was a bad game. We played bad from top to bottom, and I don't think that that means that we are not in the same class as the Ravens. We are still the two best teams in football. It was just not our night. And it happens. It's happened to some of the best teams in the history of the league, and it's happened to the Niners. Um, Brock Purdy had a rough game. I don't think a majority of it was his fault. That first interception was absolutely his fault. Absolute garbage throw because of the timing. Had he thrown it at the correct point, that would have been a touchdown. But he held it too long, and he threw it right into coverage. Um, then the two tipped interceptions. Those are just things that didn't go our fucking way. They got tipped. Every one of our tip drills that we did on defense happened to flutter to empty spots in the field, and their tips fluttered right to defenders, and it just kind of happened that way. That fourth interception by Purdy, he got his arm hit while he was throwing. There's nothing he could fucking do. I think that game illustrated how important Trent Williams is to this team, because once Trent Williams went down, it didn't matter if it was Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy back there. Darnold looked like he was doing pretty solid yesterday, but until he threw that game crunching pick. But Trent Williams is drastically important to this team. But it also showed that Kyle Shanahan is not that anybody thought he was, but he's not infallible. Kyle Shanahan got out coached yesterday, and he panicked in big situations like he does sometimes. He didn't play the kind of football that got us to where we're at. We came out trying so hard to prove that we're not scared, that we got away from what makes us such a strong, powerful team. And then we got behind the eight ball, and then we had to get away from the things that we normally do because of the situation we were in. Steve Wilkes got outclassed. We I've been talking to everybody in my private life. The biggest thing that I said we had to take care of was tackling, bad tackling. We've gotten away with some weak tackling at points against lesser teams, and I said we weren't going to get away with it against the Ravens, and it killed us. They gashed us with our bad tackling. Some of the worst tackling I've seen from this team in a long time. And you know what? I can complain about the penalties. Yeah, there were some penalties that I think were horse shit, and I think the penalties leaned more in the Ravens' direction. But the reality is, we've had that happen to us before, and we've still slaughtered teams. I don't think, the Ravens are the real first challenge the Niners have had. That's what you guys said about the Cowboys. That's what you guys said about the Eagles. Brock Purdy folds in another the only other tough situation he's had. No, the Eagles and the Cowboys were tough situations, and he didn't fold. He killed them. It was a bad game by everybody from top to bottom. And when Purdy started putting it together and throwing dimes, Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, dropping passes. Everybody just played like shit. And this is what happens when we buy into our own hype. Because when the Niners are getting doubted, they're like, fuck these people, we're going to go prove them wrong. They showed up to the Eagles game all dressed in black, and they were ready to go. But it's Christmas time. We're starting to buy our own hype, and we're getting all amped up. We're getting all into it, and everybody's showing up in Christmas gear, goofing around, fucking around, and they got smacked in the mouth. So I think if we meet the Ravens again, this will not be the same result. Hopefully not. If it is, then they just have our number. But good on the Ravens. There's plenty to complain about the game, but they outplayed us. They outcoached us. It is what it is. I still think we're as good or the best team in the league, but we just didn't show it yesterday, and we deserved that loss. We deserved to get kicked in the teeth. So there's your crow, buddy. But again, still, fuck the Eagles and fuck the Cowboys.